Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Let's get ready to rumble! Seattle's got to make a stop. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to throw it back to Goff! Who had that on the bingo card? Touchdown Lions!
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Victory Monday, right here on the Main Event Football Show. I'm your host, Main Event Mike. Welcome back to the program, everyone. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the rebroadcast, we appreciate you very much. We are broadcasting live into the Huddle Sports Network on Roku TV. Thank you to them for letting us do that. Also, at the Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, Jeremy B's YouTube channel. Thank you. Also in the 360 Radio Network. You can go to 360radionetwork.com. Check out all of their music selections. And they let us broadcast live in there too, so we appreciate them a whole lot. It is Victory Monday. The Lions are one victory, one loss on 2025 season slate. And I think that while it feels good to put up a 50 burger on a division opponent, 52-21, the final score. Lions prevail. They dominated in every phase of this game. But did they? We're going to take a deeper dive into that near the end. We're going to look at the box score first. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights, some of the lowlights from the game, and kind of look around the league as well and see what implications and ramifications come along with this victory and being 1-1 in the very, very tough NFC North. We're also got comments. This is an interactive show. We like to hear what you've got to say. So put your comment in. Let me know what you think about this Lions team. Are you back on the bandwagon? Or are you one of those fair weather fans that jumped off last week and broke your ankle? Because there were a lot of them. And they seem to be back this week. You know, it really is amazing. It surprises me so much how quickly people will just abandon their team and how quickly they'll become a Patriots fan because Tom Brady was the quarterback, or they become a Rams fan because Matt Stafford was the quarterback. Look, loyalty to your team is what being a fan is about. Sure, the winning is great when it happens, but it's sticking through the tough times with them so that when the winning comes, that's when it is the most rewarding. So try to stick it out, folks. Don't be giving up on us, because guess what? Next week we got to go to Baltimore. Okay, you're not going to win every game. Maybe this is exactly what the Lions need. This is exactly what they need in 2025, is everyone doubting them, a really hard schedule, a tough climb to even get in the playoffs. Maybe that's what this team needs. Because at 15-2 and blowing everyone out, it wasn't enough. It's the team that gets hot at the end of the year going into the playoffs that usually does the best. And I think that beating the Bears in Ben Johnson's return to Ford Field was a statement. But those Green Bay Packers, they beat a really good Washington team, 28-17, and it wasn't that close. 27-18, and it wasn't even that close. Green Bay had that game in hand the entire way. And they manhandled the Lions in week 1. So a big mountain to climb for the Lions, even though this one feels good, to be 1-1, 52-21 victory over the Chicago Bears. Steve is real. Yeah. What's up, Main Event Mike? What's up, Steve? Good to see you in here, Packer fan. I didn't even know you were in here while I'm over here praising your team. But it's true. Micah Parsons has made a difference, even if not in the box score, which he has. But let's take that aside. He's made a difference in the way this team plays. The fire, the motor, the non-stop. I saw it all over the field on Thursday night against the Commanders. They're following his lead, which is what great players do. They raise up the play of everyone around them. And that's what Micah Parsons is doing in Green Bay. So I think we saw that yesterday from the Lions too. Not just from the defense or from Aiden Hutchinson, but from the entire team. They were pissed off after their performance in Lambeau in week 1. They had a lot to clean up. They came in week 2, and they did clean a lot of it up. Dan Campbell said in his post-game presser, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. Sure, 52-21 at first glance looks pretty good. Let's take a look at this box score now. Jared Goff, 23 of 28, 334 yards, 5 touchdowns, a passer rating of 156. I believe it's 159. That is perfect. That's a perfect passer rating. Jared Goff had 5 touchdowns and 5 incomplete passes. As many touchdown passes as he had incompletions. It's not the first time he's done that. He's uber accurate. And his favorite guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9 catches, 115 yards for 3 touchdowns. Very sorry if you drew a team with Amon-Ra on it in your fantasy league this week. 115 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Sun God. Jahmyr Gibbs, speaking of fantasy, I have Jahmyr Gibbs on my team. 12 carries, 94 yards, and a tutty. He had a 7.8-yard average. Able to run the ball. Also, on defense, able to stop the run. DeAndre Swift, 12 carries, 63 yards. That's a 5.3-yard average. He also had a touchdown, but they were tough yards. And the Bears fell behind. They had to abandon the run and put the game in the hands of their second-year quarterback. Rome Odunze with a huge game, 2 touchdowns on 7 catches, 128 yards. And that's what I'm going to get to here at the end of this rant, is that, like Dan Campbell said, it wasn't perfect. Hell, in that first quarter, in their first possession, the Bears marched right down, stuffed it down our throat, and scored a touchdown. If that doesn't concern you, then you're looking at this with rose-colored glasses, because this was the Bears. Yeah, they got a lot of new weapons. Yes, they got this and that, and it is the NFL. All the teams are good. But if you're going to be dominant in your own building, especially, it just looked too easy for the Bears. Lions get a couple of turnovers. Bears got none. Couple of fourth downs. The Bears can't convert. They turn it over on downs. Lions are 1 for 1 on fourth down. These things make a huge difference in the game. But you take those things away. You take away those turnovers, and this game's a lot closer going into the half. In fact, the Lions scored just before the half to go up 2 touchdowns, with the Bears getting the ball back in the second half first. So there was a little bit of concern in the first half for me that, yeah, we're winning this game. We're probably going to win this game. But does this look like a team that's going to win the Super Bowl? Not at this point. Not for me. Definitely some concerns, and you could tell in Dan Campbell's tone in his post-game presser, he's got some concerns as well. But we dominated the line of scrimmage, something that didn't happen in week 1. We got dominated in week 1 on both sides of the ball on the line of scrimmage. This week, it was our turn. Come into our building, and our players, Brian Branch said, we were pissed off. They were mad at their performance and the way they got bullied in Lambeau. Make no mistake, they got bullied. And they came back this week and were the bully. Lions with 4 sacks. Didn't get one till the third quarter. Marcus Davenport got the first sack of the year for the Detroit Lions, but they gave up 0 sacks. Tate Ratledge, Christian Mahogany, they played better. They cleaned it up. They went to work in the off week, and they got it right. It wasn't perfect, but they definitely improved, and I think that is a real positive sign for this team moving forward. If they can progress every week and get a little better and a little better, I mean, we're talking about a 6th-round draft pick and a 2nd-round draft pick. These aren't guys that are expected to light the world on fire from day one. But they got better from 1 week to the next, and that's a positive sign. 4 sacks for the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson gets one. Marcus Davenport gets one. On the play, of course, he gets hurt. Al-Quaheen Muhammad gets a sack, and then Brian Branch with a sack as well. We get a couple of turnovers, a fumble recovery, and a beauty of an interception by Kirby Joseph. I believe Caleb Williams was trying to throw the ball away, and Kirby just made a spectacular play, laid out, caught it, kept his arms under the ball as he rolled over. Just perfect textbook. So 2 takeaways. You win the turnover battle in division games. You have a much better chance of winning. And I also want to call out Tyleik Williams. A couple of 4th down stops for the Detroit defense. Chicago getting desperate, going for it on 4th down to try to stay in the game. Tyleik Williams, the rookie defensive tackle for the Lions, single-handedly shut that down. He had a batted ball at the line. There were a couple of 4th down runs. He stopped them. They tried to run right at him, and he stuffed it. They only needed to get 1 yard, and the rook stepped up. So definitely a better showing for the Lions on both sides of the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage. Next week, as I said, it's the Ravens. It's going to be a lot tougher. Let's see who's in the chat. Steve's Real says, I want to join. Okay, buddy, we'll send the link out for you. Just give me a minute. Detroit Fan Man. Crazy how fast narratives change in this league. Yes, it is. Already seeing reporters claim now instead it was always Jared Goff that made Ben Johnson look good the past few years. Oh, come on. We're going to talk about John Morton, the new offensive coordinator, today too. That to me was the biggest problem last week, was John Morton play calling, dink and dunk, never had a play over 15 yards. It had 1 20-yard pass, I believe, that Amon-Ra St. Brown diving out of bounds to save it. So this week, much better. Dan Campbell was asked about it. Hey, did you open up the passing game? And he broke it down real simple. He said, no. Chicago plays a lot of man. It opens us up to be able to get behind him. Green Bay played everything in front of us, and we just couldn't convert the plays. They swarmed to the ball. Goes back to what I said about Micah Parsons lighting a fire under that defense. They kept everything in front of them. They played too high safety, and they prevented the Lions from getting behind. And they were able to get pressure with 4 guys. So that sends 7 back in coverage. You're not going to get anything deep. So the Lions did what they could. They dinked and dunked, threw it underneath, and it just wasn't enough. They got to the red zone a bunch of times last week. Could not convert and could not come away with touchdowns. Another thing Dan Campbell talked about in the off days. Can't come away with 3 points in the red zone. We got to come away with 7. In the red zone yesterday, Detroit Lions, 6 out of 7 in the red zone. That's a real improvement. They were also 1 for 1 on 4th down. Chicago Bears also 2 for 2 in the red zone. They just didn't get into the red zone a bunch. They got in twice. Only twice they were able to get in the red zone, and they were able to convert both times. That's a little concerning to me also. The red zone defense. You can't stop the Bears once they get in the red zone? I don't know. It's not all roses and sunshine for Lions fans right now. Emily in the house says, hi, Mike. So happy to be celebrating Victory Monday. Great win for the Lions. Absolutely. The Mad Yinzer, what up? Kirby interception was amazing. Let me see if I can get this link out here to you now. What is this button? That is the, no, that's not it. What's this button? Oh, there it is. Copy the link and put it in the chat. And if you want to join, you're more than welcome to join. Let's just not have any rated R comments if you do come on. That's the only thing I ask. It's not a family-friendly show per se, but we do have a little bit of couth here. We do have a little bit of decorum here. And Steve has entered the chat already, so we'll go ahead and bring him in. He's a Green Bay Packer fan, probably here to rub it in that his team is 2-0. Welcome to the stage, Steve is Real.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Good to see you.
You too, man. I just like asked a question. I came home and went on the thing. It was on Chat Sports, and the dude said that the Bengals have contacted the Packers, I guess, to try to acquire Malik Willis.
Ugh. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like the Packers are about to fleece the Bengals.
Well, and then he said, I can't think of the guy's name. He was the one quarterback, I think, last year. Dorian Thomas or something had three
Dorian
names.
Thompson Robinson.
Yeah, that if the trade happens, we will bring him in to be the backup.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sold on Malik Willis. Are you, Steve? I've heard Packer fans tell me he's as good as Jordan Love. What a bunch of crap that is.
As a backup, yeah. As a starter, I mean, I look forward it happening soon. I said it all off season. I look for some team to come in there that's going to have quarterback problems, that's going to ask for Malik Willis. I've been saying it all off season.
Well, you know, they could have had him in the draft, but every team passed on him for 5 rounds. So,
right.
Or was it 3 rounds? But, and the Titans didn't want him, and they jettisoned him and kept Will Levis. And then I watched some of these games that Malik Willis actually won the game. He was the starting quarterback for the win, but the Packers were dominating in every phase of he didn't have to do anything. Look, I watched a couple of the games that he won. I'm not sold on Malik Willis. Sounds to me like Brian Gutekunst is about to fleece the Bengals out of a 3rd-round pick or something for this. I'm sure the Packers will let Malik Willis go for a nominal price. Wouldn't you think?
I could see it.
Right.
I mean, well, see, the one thing that's also happening is one thing what I always loved about you actually know what you're talking about. You know, over the years with Russell's show and other shows, one thing I always loved about you when you was there, you knew what you was talking about, and I know you're going to understand this. With Ed Policy now at the helm with us, if he's anything like his father, which I believe he will be, and I know you remember Carmen Policy when he was with the Niners, look all the big trades he did for San Francisco. He brought in Charles Haley. He brought in Deion Sanders.
Steve Young.
He went and got this guy, and this is what I've been trying to tell, like Robert and Dorn and all the other Packer fans. With Ed Policy at the helm, if he's anything like his father, which I know he learned from his father, I'm really looking for shakeups and big things to happen in Green Bay. So
and we're already seeing it. I mean, just the Micah Parsons thing alone, drafting Matthew Golden in the 1st round. These are things that were off script for Green Bay.
Yeah. Well,
so we're already seeing what you're saying there, and I think it's a great call out.
Yeah, well, because I remember that because, like I said, a buddy of mine here in town, his name's John. He's a big 49ers fan, and I remember all those years in the 90s, what Carmen Policy did when he went out and got Charles Haley and Bill Romanowski and Deion Sanders, Steve Young, and this guy. I'm like Terrell Owens. So I'm hoping he follows his father's footsteps.
So you're 2-0, Steve. Packers are 2-0, leading the division now. Good win over a good team in week 1. Good win over a good team in week 2. I mean, you had the benefit of being at home for both games. But it's got to feel good for you looking at your schedule being 2-0.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't ever think any game is a cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
None. Because I can remember like years ago. Like,
you sure next week against Cleveland, it's not a cupcake?
Well, I don't take any game as a cupcake. You never know what can happen. Because like I said, I remember years ago, back in the Favre era, we had a good record. We was a dominant team. And we wouldn't faced at the time was a dismal Indianapolis Colts team, and they butchered us. I mean, they butchered us like 40-something. I don't know what it was, and I couldn't believe it happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you as I look at your schedule right here, and I hear what you're saying. All NFL teams are good. These are elite athletes on every team, and any given Sunday, a team can beat you. But as I look at your schedule, I see you got 2 road games coming up. one at Cleveland, one at Dallas, and then you get the bye week. Your job just got easier in week 6 because Joe Burrow going down for the Bengals is going to make that a much easier game for you to win. Then you go at Arizona, at Pittsburgh. You got a quarterback that's 5'8", and you got a quarterback that's 58. So the Cardinals and the Steelers, that looks like 2 easy wins for me as well for the Packers. If you can beat Cleveland and Dallas on the road, you're looking at 7-0 going into a game against the Panthers, a possibly 8-0 Green Bay Packer team. What kind of feelings does that give you, Steve, looking at potentially 8-0?
Well, it's a good feeling, but like I said, like you guys went 15-2 last year. Dominant record, dominant season. But thing is, then you get into playoffs and look what happens. See, I'm trying to tell so many fans, like, there's other Lions fans like this Mo Mitch. He keeps on bringing up, you guys will falter when we win a division. You know what, Mitch? You can keep winning the division. Division don't mean really squat. The thing is, it's the big game. Because for the fact, I remember our last Super Bowl, we was the 6th-seeded team. The Bears won the division, and who won the Super Bowl? So
okay. But we're Lions fans, bro. It's a different animal. We hang banners for division wins.
Yeah.
We're in the division. We'll hang a banner. We're the losingest franchise in all of sports. You're damn right we're going to relish that. You're damn right we are. And we're not going to apologize for it.
Because, like, I remember the one year, hell, just like you guys went 15-2, the one year we went 15-1, and look what happened.
Yeah, 15. No 15-win team ever wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we went 15-1 or whatever, and we got.
You could be potentially 8-0, and then you go into week 10 against the Eagles, but you get them at Lambeau.
Right.
And then you get the Giants and the Vikings before Thanksgiving. I mean, let's face it. 10, 11-0 is on the table for the Packers if they stay healthy.
Right. Now, if you look at that, from week 12 on, it's all divisional games except for 2, and that's the Broncos and the Ravens.
Which are going to be tough games.
Exactly.
Again, though, you have the luxury. You're going to get Baltimore at home. So I really like this team. Coming out of the gate 2-0, I like their chances for 13 wins possibly, maybe 14 wins even. I think the Lions will beat them on Thanksgiving, though. I think that such a bad taste in their mouth after the whooping they took in week 1 that the Lions are going to bounce back and get the victory on Thanksgiving. Thanks for being on the show, Steve. I don't want to talk about the Packers too much. It makes my viewership go down.
I understand.
Did you get a chance to check out Isaac Tesla's one-handed catch?
You know what? That boy, I've been saying to a lot of Lion fans, that boy needs to be playing more and more.
Well, he is. And then week 1, he only got 3 snaps. Made a 13-yard one-handed catch for a touchdown. Yesterday, he got 17 snaps. One-handed catch for 29 yards and a first down, crucial first down to keep a drive alive. So he has 2 targets, 2 catches, 42 yards and a touchdown, and he hasn't even touched the ball with 2 hands yet.
Right. He's a definite playmaker.
We've renamed him. He's got a couple nicknames now. Vanillatron.
Right. I heard that.
And we also call him Coleslaw. You know why we call him Coleslaw?
Why?
Because he can't be left open.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
Stay on the line here, Steve. I got some general NFL stuff I'd like to talk to you about, okay? If you want to hang out for a minute.
All right.
Thanks. But let's get back to this Lions victory over the Bears. More vertical passing because the defense was allowing it. Jamison Williams only had 2 catches. 2 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. But he didn't hit his receiving prop of 2.5 catches. But it was good to see the Lions offense, that prolific offense from last year, come back to life and drop 50 on a division opponent. That's nice. A couple of highlights from the game. Of course, we talked about the Tesla catch. That was really awesome. Terrion Arnold has gone 19 professional football games now as a professional CB. This is his first year as a CB1, but he's got 18 games under his belt starting in the NFL and has yet to get an interception. Yesterday, he got one, but it was called back on a penalty by Brian Branch for roughing the passer. He's also nursing a groin injury, but I can't wait for this kid to get his first INT. Brian Branch said in his post-game presser that he owes him one, and he apologized to him for that penalty. So Terrion Arnold still 0 interceptions as a pro. Another thing I want to call out is Amon-Ra St. Brown, after a touchdown, doing a celebration where he faked a hamstring injury. Put it in the comments. Tell me if you gasped like I did. If you're watching on the rebroadcast, still put it in the comments. Tell me what you thought about that. Personally, I hated it. I hated it. I don't care if it was a joke. I don't care if everyone loved it when it was over. I hated it. I totally gasped. My stomach went up into my throat. Terrible. Oh my God. Oh, it's a joke. Ugh. Please don't do that again, Saint. Please never do that again. Great celebration yesterday, though, where they reenacted the Stumble Bum. They reenacted the Fumble Rooski play they had last year in Chicago. And it is what as awesome as I thought it was, I did think that doing it against Chicago, against Ben Johnson, was a little bit of a low-class move. I didn't like that. I liked it, how it was done. I just didn't like the context. I think we're better than that. We're bigger than that. To rub it in his face, and make no doubt, that's what that was. I mean, Ben Johnson thought up that play. And then for them to reenact it in the end zone after scoring on them, I didn't like that. I also didn't like the fans at Ford Field shouting F Ben Johnson. Jared Goff said as much as well after the game that he did not like that. I think we're better than that, Detroit. Now, you want to boo Matthew Stafford's kids? I'm all for that. But the hamstring celebration, St. Brown, please retire that one. Injury updates are around the NFC North. All-pro corner for Chicago, Jalen Johnson, groin injury. They say he's out indefinitely. No timetable for his return. That's huge for the Bears. Huge. He's basically their best defensive player out on the corner. They got Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon. They got some other good ones in there. But they also have a linebacker, TJ Edwards, I believe, that's out as well. J.J. McCarthy, quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, out with a high ankle sprain, 3 to 4 weeks. Carson Wentz will fill in. When was the last time Carson Wentz played a meaningful football game? A long time. 2018, since he's played a meaningful football game. I don't expect a lot from Carson Wentz, but then again, I didn't expect a lot from Sam Darnold. Kevin O'Connell is that good. He's the quarterback whisperer. Look what he did for Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is about to be out of the league. He resurrected his career. Now he might have 2, 3, 4 more years as a backup in this league, thanks to Kevin O'Connell. Joe Burrow, out with a turf toe grade 3 injury. Should be out 3 months, long enough for the Bengals to be eliminated from the playoffs, and then he could be back. Jake Browning, the backup quarterback, came in, threw a few touchdown passes, and pulled out the win for him. Good job, Jake. But that's not going to be enough. Burrow went down. Bengals are in trouble. I'm sorry if you took Jamar Chase, number 1 in your fantasy league. And then finally, Marcus Davenport with a shoulder and ankle injury. No word on the severity. All that we know is that he's getting a second opinion. Folks, when they get a second opinion, that's not good. That means they got the news they didn't want to hear, and they're going to get a second opinion. Somebody will tell them something that they want to hear. Marcus Davenport's being very tight-lipped, says he feels good. He walked off the field under his own power. He was seen after the game, yucking it up with some of the Bears players, some of his buddies. So he wasn't in the back. He had ice on his shoulder. It'd be interesting to see if he plays next week, or let alone start. The over-under on Marcus Davenport was 5 games before he's injured and out. So if it happens after 2, I think I'm going to owe somebody like $20. But anyway, something that I do want to talk about. We'll bring Steve back in now. Put it in the comments. Tell me what you think. See if anybody's commented, and you haven't, but that's okay. We'll bring Steve back in now, Steve. Steve, something I want to talk about is the state of field goal kicking in the NFL.
Okay.
Yesterday, the Cowboys played the Giants, and Brandon Aubrey made a 64-yard field goal to tie the game. He then made a 34-yarder to win the game. But a 64-yarder, all my life as a kid, that was the record, man. 64 yards, 63 yards, I think Tom Dempsey for the Saints in like 1970 or something was against the Lions. And that stood for over 40 years. That record stood.
Well, someone in this preseason kicked almost a 70-yarder.
Yeah, and you can see him in warm-ups putting them through the uprights at 75 yards.
Yeah.
Okay? Something needs to be done. I think that when the new kickoff rules were installed, this was something that got lost in the shuffle. If you boot the ball into the end zone, or if you don't hit in the landing zone with your kickoff, the opposing team gets it at the 40-yard line. You're like 2 first downs away now from a field goal. And I just think it's taken something away from the game. I realize that the NFL loves scoring. They want more scoring.
Well, it's for Vegas.
Whatever the reason, because chicks love the long ball. Whatever the reason is, it's money. They love scoring. But it has changed the dichotomy of the game when all I need is 2 first downs after a kickoff that I didn't even return, and I'm in field goal range to tie the game. Literally 18 seconds, and I can be in field goal range from the kickoff. And that, to me, is changing the game. The kickers have gotten so good. Like, look, Jan Stenerud is one of the few kickers in the Hall of Fame. His career long is 55 yards. These guys make 55-yarders all day as a chip shot. It's a gimme from 50 yards these days.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, Steve, do you think they need to make a change to something? I mean, there's a couple things we could kick around. Do you think something needs to be done to make it harder on these kickers so they can't just chip shot a 50-yarder?
Well, if I was a coach, a special teams coach or whatever, like if I would sit there and tell my kicker, don't boot the ball in the end zone.
Right.
You know, don't boot it in the end zone, because if it's a touchback, whatever, it's out to the 40, just like you said, boom. Let them receive, because you never know. It could be a fumble. They could drop it. They could take a hit or whatever, and so forth, whatever. I mean, it's just smart to sit there and say, well, you know what? Just like you said, if they acknowledge what you just said, which is very smart, then they will know, okay, if I kick an end zone into touchback, they get the ball in the 40, and boom, boom, boom. It's just like that, you know. But
all right, well, let's say you kick it to the 1-yard line, and they return it a typical 18 to 20 yards. My point is the range of the kickers now, they only got to get to the 50-yard line before the percentages are above 88%. They're kicking over an 88% clip over 50 yards. And that has changed the game. Now, here's a couple of suggestions that I heard. First, no field goals allowed. Right now, Justin Tucker holds the record at 66 yards, also against the Lions. So that means that is basically from the 50-yard line. If you move that back to the opposing 40, no field goals can be even attempted from there. You make the rule. No, you have to go for it on 4th down or punt it if you're on your own 40-yard line. You can't even attempt it. That's one possible one. Another suggestion I heard was narrowing the goalposts, making it harder to kick the ball. Look how many they tuck right inside the upright. And if we narrow that, it makes it harder. That way you don't have to change anything as far as the gameplay. You can keep your kickoff rules. You can let them try 70-yarders, but it'll just be harder with narrow goalposts. I actually like either of these suggestions. I just think something needs to be done to make it harder. Your take on that?
I mean, I agree. With it, if they would make it like, okay, you can't kick it from here or whatever, or like now how, like, should the goalpost be smaller no matter what? Like if you're kicking a 20, 30, 40-yard field goal, it's,
Well, I think within reason, a 40-yarder, is almost automatic these days, and I can live with that. You made it that far into enemy territory to come away with 3 points. But when you didn't even cross the 50-yard line, and trust me, we're going to see this. We are going to see this the way it's going. Brandon Aubrey made that 64-yarder yesterday. It would have been good from 74 yards.
Well, here's another analogy on that. If a team's down by 4 points, maybe then, only then, if they kick a 60-something, 70-something, they can get the 4 points.
More. It's worth 4. It can be worth 4 instead of 3.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that wrinkle.
But it has to be from 60 on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm telling you, man, from 60 on, they're almost automatic now.
Right. But, because then if the team's down by 4, okay, will they now? Because also there's a chance that they could have a guy in the end zone to receive that kick if it doesn't make it, and return it, and so forth, and whatever.
And that exists right now. They can do that now. But
yeah, but like I said, if it's just say it's 24-20, okay, it can make a team think, wait a minute, we need 4 points. Let's try this. If it's 4th down, they could go, but it has to be from 60 yards or more to get the 4 points. And if they don't, look where they're at. The team, then if the team gets, the ball right there in that territory, it's going to make them think, do we want to give this team the ball here, or do we want to punt the ball? Because if this is a 60-yard, like you said, these kickers can make it, but there's that chance if it doesn't, then the opponent is going to have the ball at the 50, the 40, whatever, boom, and so forth, whatever. It can make a team think, wait, do we want to do this? Well, if we miss, then they get the ball here. Yes, it's 4 points, but look where we're kicking at.
My point is, though, right now, the 64-yarder that Brandon Aubrey kicked yesterday looks so pedestrian. It looks so easy.
Right.
That it's only going to be a matter of time before these guys are attempting 70, 75 yards. And when they start making those at a clip over 88%, like they are over 50 now, that is going to be a problem. And the league should step in and change it to make it harder for these guys. I mean, if a guy misses, like Jan Stenerud hit a 55-yarder, was his career long, and he was less than 50% for his entire career from 50 yards out, and he made it to the Hall of Fame. You look at Jason Elam, Matt Prater, Sebastian Janikowski, these guys that can boot the ball a mile. It's only a matter of time before these kickers, Brandon Aubrey now is probably the best long-range kicker we've ever seen.
Remember Matt Barr in Cleveland? He kicked it barefoot.
Yeah. A lot of barefoot kickers. And I mean, it's just a matter of time before we're going to start seeing 70-yarders. And I think the league needs to step in now and maybe next year in the offseason at the owners' meeting, make some sort of rule that makes it harder to kick a field goal in this league, because it is just getting too easy. And it's changing the dynamics of the game.
Yeah, but like you said, they want these points.
Yep, they want scoring, that's for sure. So Packers are at Cleveland next week. Lions are at Baltimore next week. The Minnesota Vikings will be at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Chicago Bears, not that it really matters, will be at home against the Dallas Cowboys. So I really think Dallas can win that game. Bears could be looking at 0-3. I think the Packers win their game. They're looking at 3-0. Vikings, that's a tough one for me to call because Jake Browning's a little bit better than people think.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that Carson Wentz is the guy to get it done. But hey, he's got more experience than J.J. McCarthy, and that roster is loaded. They could be 2-1 next week. And then the Detroit Lions, of course, at Baltimore. Very possible that we lose that game. That's a very good team. And we will be 1-2 and sitting in the basement of the NFC North. However, I do believe the Lions will pull out this season, and I think they're going to the Super Bowl because I'm a slappy. And if you look at the bottom of this schedule, I like our chances here: Bears, Vikings, Steelers, even the Rams, Cowboys, and then of course Thanksgiving against the Pack. I like that last 6-game stretch there for us to pull it out and go to the playoffs, and anything can happen there, as you know. Any parting shots before we go, Steve?
Well, yeah, I just looked at that schedule. That's where it is. Why do we have that many divisional games from week 12 on, and I don't think anybody else in the division does?
Oh, you mean the Pack?
Yeah.
Let's take a look there. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 7 are divisional games for the Packers. That's a good call out.
Yeah,
all the division games are on the road as well. So that's a very interesting setup there. The Packers schedule is backloaded with tough road games. The Lions' back half of the schedule is loaded with home games. Where you're looking at road games. So, yeah, the Pack's up 2-0 right now, but it's a long season, and I like the Lions.
But like I said, in the division right now, we're 1-0, and we don't see another division foe until week 12 at Minnesota, and then we got all those divisional games to where.
Wow, you sure do.
Yeah, and then we got Denver, who ain't no damn slouch, and Baltimore, who ain't no damn slouch.
Right. No, absolutely. Even though Denver did get beat by the Colts yesterday, Danny Dimes looking like Danny Brady. So
yeah, well, there's some talent on that Colts team. There is.
Yeah, and Jonathan Taylor's an all-world running back too as well.
So hell yeah.
And I think Shane Steichen's a really good coach. So they're doing some good things there in Indy. I think the Anthony Richardson experiment is probably over. When a guy like Daniel Jones can come in and just overwhelmingly take the reins and snatch that job away from you, I think that Anthony Richardson might be on his way out of the NFL.
Now I want to make a comment on the St. Brown, what he did with the fake hammy.
Yeah,
dude. What are Lions fans going to think if it actually happens?
Right, the boy who cried wolf.
Could that come back and bite him in the ass? Could that be karma?
Man. I don't know, man. Did you ever see the Netflix Receiver series?
No.
Oh, you missed. You got to go watch that. And it shows Amon-Ra with his dad, who was Mr. Universe, Mr. Olympia 3 times or something. And him telling the stories about every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, he'd make his sons get up and lift weights. So shut up and lift. So, the guy's carved out of rock. When it comes to muscles and things like that, hamstring is just a big muscle. I think that his conditioning is awesome, but nobody is above injury. And you're so right. What if he does blow out a hammy and he's limping like that for real on the fields? Everybody going to say, oh, he's doing it again.
Well, like some fans or players saw that and like you and I said, that's not right. And then, I know how people's minds can think. And then when someone actually tries to target him, they're like, oh, you want to make fun? You want to pull a joke on the hammy thing and whatever. I know how people react and see that. You got to be careful when you pull stunts like that and whatever, because you can actually rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
No.
I didn't like it, and I didn't like the reenactment of the stumble bum in the end zone. I mean, I loved it, but I didn't like the context of it, and I didn't like the fans yelling "F Ben Johnson" and chanting that throughout Ford Field. That was bad look.
And Brian Branch in the game against us, like, when's he going to grow up? I mean, you pull the helmet off a crack and then throws it. Dude, you just cost your team on stupidity 15 yards.
On a play that we stuffed the run, and it was 2nd and 10, and you weren't even in field goal range at that point. That was a bad play.
Yeah, I mean, when's he going to grow up?
Yeah, I hear you. But what he brings to the table is almost way worth it.
Well,
I mean, watching him play, he had a sack yesterday. He had a sack yesterday. He had a pressure that caused an interception, which he was called for a penalty on. But his skill set is so good. He's so good at the line of scrimmage. He played corner, nickel, and safety in the game yesterday.
Yeah. I mean,
and that maturity will come, Steve.
Well, I'm saying he has all those intangibles and, whatever. But something stupid at a key game, a very key game, he can pull something like that when they're playing good, everything's good, and he pulls a stunt, and then they can falter them.
For sure. That's a good call out. But I believe that maturity will come. In the meantime, he's an absolute stud, and I can't thank Green Bay enough for letting us have him in the draft.
Oh, you guys, I'm so glad we don't got him.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that makes 2 of us. Steve, thanks for being on the show. Best of luck to your team. Not
thanks
really.
For having me.
Bye. That Steve is real. He's a Packer fan. We kind of like him. We don't like his team, but we like him. We like you too. Be sure to go over to our Facebook page and give us a follow. It's called The Main Event. We started with 0. We're up to almost 1,000 now. It's important, guys. You also hit the like emoji or some emoji. Hit a heart or a like or something or other if you're watching on the live or if you're watching in the feed on the rebroadcast. Follow our page and give us a like, would you, if you like the content that you see here today. We're going to sign out a little bit early today. Going to get ready for that Monday night game. I'll be back again Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern before the game kicks off, and we'll give a good, nice preview of the Baltimore game for the Lions next week. Lions beat the Bears 52-21, go to 1-1 on the season. I'll see you next week at 7 p.m. Eastern time. God bless each and every one of you. Peace out and one pride.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush.